Good afternoon to everybody. My name is Andy Klein. I am the dean here at the Indiana University McKinney School of Law, and it is my distinct pleasure to welcome you to today's program entitled Women's Voices in the Courtroom, and it is great to see a full house in our courtroom here at Inlow Hall. Now, I do understand that this event was originally scheduled to take place in the federal courthouse. Due to events beyond our control, that was not possible, so I consider holding it here at the law school an example of making lemonade out of lemons. It is truly an honor for our school to have an opportunity to be part of this very special program. It is also my understanding that for the first time, the chief judges of the U.S. Court of Appeals for the Seventh Circuit, the U.S. District Court for the Southern District of Indiana, the U.S. Bankruptcy Court for the Southern District of Indiana, the Chief Justice of Indiana, and the Chief Justice of the Indiana Court of Appeals are all women. And each of those individuals are here with us today. We have Chief Judge Diane Wood, Chief Judge Jane Magnus Stinson, Chief Judge Robin Moberly, Judge Moberly, wave from the front row, Chief Justice Loretta Rush, and Chief Judge Nancy Vadick. What an incredible privilege to commemorate the confluence of these outstanding leaders, as well as the contributions of many, many more women lawyers in our community. So I think that deserves a round of applause for everybody. Judge Wood asked me not to be Brezhnevian, but I do have a few more things I'd like to say, because as we begin today's program, I can't help but think of the first woman to serve as the dean of our law school. That was Susanna Mead. Many of you in this room know Susie Mead. She served as dean of this law school from 2005 to 2007. And I started my tenure in academic administration during that time serving as Susie Mead's associate dean. Susie Mead was my mentor. She was my role model. She was an inspiration to many lawyers in the Indianapolis community. She also was a trailblazer for women judges in this city and the state. And I remember her telling me often about the challenges she faced as a woman student in this law school in the 1970s, when there were only a handful of women studying law in our entire school. Some of you also know that we lost Susie Mead. She passed away just a little more than a year ago, far too young. And as I was preparing these notes, I just wish so much that she could be here with us today, because I know that she would have been filled with pride at having this program take place at her school, a school where half of our students are now women. So, Susie Mead began her administrative career as an associate dean. At our school today, we call that the vice dean. And I'm pleased that we have the second woman to serve in that role as our moderator today. That is my colleague and friend, Karen Bravo. Karen's administrative duties at the school are wide-ranging. Is that fair, Dean Bravo? They include overseeing our LLM and MJ programs. Dean Bravo is a leading international law scholar and an expert on issues related to human trafficking. She also takes time to pave the way for new leaders, and I want to particularly note her work in developing this campus's Next Gen 2.0 initiative, which is dedicated to preparing women and underrepresented faculty and staff for positions of leadership in academics. So let me personally thank you again for being here today, and please join me in welcoming to the podium my colleague, Vice Dean Karen Bravo. Karen?
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you very much, Dean Klein. Welcome all of you to the McKinney Law School. We are really honored and privileged to host you in this historic gathering. It is also my personal honor and privilege to be able to serve as your moderator / MC. Really, I'm just going to be a timekeeper as you listen to these wonderful speakers speak about their experience in the law. Through the initiative and collaboration of the sponsors and collaborators listed in your program, and you'll see at the back of your program, we have an opportunity to gather to celebrate, take stock, interrogate and think strategically about the achievements of women in the law, and in particular, women in the judiciary. Before I introduce the first panel, if you will allow me just a small indulgence of some preliminary remarks. The perceived legitimacy and representativeness of the legal profession and of the judiciary are enhanced through the presence of the participation of women as leaders in the judiciary and in the legal profession. I can't help but think of a potentially fraught cliche or slogan that seems perhaps apt today: "We've come a long way, baby." In other words, still a long way to go, but making good progress. And if I may indulge with a small narrative from my own law school days, the school from which I graduated, we had co-ed bathrooms before it was a thing. But the reason why we had the co-ed bathrooms, I have no idea what's going on, is because women were not expected to come to law school, even though the building had been built in the 1960s. So we have come a long way as women, as a society, in welcoming women to the profession and having women assume positions of leadership. Please join me in welcoming all our panels and panelists. I know that they look forward to robust participation and discussion with you.